Hey guys, Pallav here, and today I have two of the hottest smartphones in the market right now, the iPhone 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S6. We're going to make a series of videos comparing various features that these smartphones have to offer and various claims these companies make on behalf of their own product, and we'll try to separate the myth from the fact with real life examples to help you decide in terms of a particular feature which one of these is a better choice. So let's get started, shall we? In this particular video, we are comparing the displays of the iPhone 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now first, let's take a look at the spec sheet, and once you do that, you will realize that the S6 has a more updated spec sheet as far as the display is concerned than the iPhone 6. You realize that this guy, the S6, has much more resolution. This one has less resolution on a 4.7 inch, and despite of being less resolution on a smaller screen, the PPI or the color density is over 576, 577 on the S6, and it's just over 300 on the iPhone 6. Now, many people might argue that that amount of pixels is actually not necessary on the phone, but many magazine owners or many magazine publishers would tell you that to view a magazine colors properly on a device, the color density has to be over 550 ppi or 500 ppi, that kind of. Apart from that, you'll also see that the screen to or the display to body ratio is about 70% on this one, but only about just over 65% on the iPhone 6. So all in all, spec wise, this guy has an updated spec, but the question is, do you actually need that updated, or if that updated spec sheet actually provides an updated or more enhanced experience than this guy, the iPhone 6. So that's what we're gonna see right now. We have our color card to compare here. Now if you look very closely, the Samsung Galaxy S6 colors are much more vibrant than the one on the iPhone 6. Now remember, we have the brightness set at auto level, and that's what you would generally do to save your battery. These colors, this is slightly more red than this one, or these colors, the difference between red are more prominent than this one. This is slightly darker, this is slightly more vibrant, every color is. Now see that the iPhone 6 kind of just about these colors there because of that slightly darker screen, but even if you go here more vertical than the iPhone 6, you see the S6 colors are still kind of brighter than the iPhone 6. At this point of time, iPhone 6 display is really out of color and does not show the proper brightness and color, but here the Samsung Galaxy S6 Super AMOLED screen is absolutely brilliant, and the difference is very significant. Let's take a look at some text, and do you see the brightness is absolutely apparent? The one on the iPhone 6 is much dimmer, much darker, paler than the one on the Samsung Galaxy S6, and we have both the displays set on auto brightness. The fonts are also the letters are also here slightly more clearly visible here than this one, mainly because it packs more resolution in one particular display. So you see all the fonts and everything are kind of that much more crisper, and both the brightness are at their max now. Let's go back to the same page, and now things are much better on the iPhone 6's side, but still if you look closely you will see now here things are much better. They are like more even, and you will see that the S6's display is slightly yellowish and iPhone 6's display is slightly more whitish. Now that's purely a matter of preference. This by no way is paler, this is only slightly yellowish color, and that's what AMOLED screens are, and this is how LCD screen look. LCD screens are generally more whitish than the AMOLED screen, but the brightness on both are absolutely fine. In fact, now I think here, because of the white, the texts are slightly more popping out. So I don't know, some might your eyes might hurt here, but overall If you can bear the white background here, then I think this is slightly crisper now at the max brightness. Now let's take a look at our color card in maximum brightness, and again you see now the iPhone 6's display is much better and it's more even, almost identical. Now it's very hard to say right now which one is better. Still I find the vibrancy is absolutely more, but at times that vibrancy kind of can be led to think as oversaturation. So that's something you have to decide, or which one is more pleasing to your eye. But this one is still slightly less vibrant than the S6 one, but it's now much closer battle between the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy S6 at maximum brightness. Now if we go here, even the viewing angle of the iPhone 6 has increased, and both are now almost at the same level. Practically you would almost never keep your brightness at the maximum unless you're walking right into the sunlight. So in your usual situation in auto brightness, the S6 is a clear winner, but in maximum brightness it's more even. We tested exactly the same scenarios, but this time under bright sunlight, and you can see from these videos that again it's almost a similar case as here. When you have the brightness set to auto, the iPhone 6 is really dark and pale in compared to the S6, but when you set the brightness to maximum, the iPhone 6 comes very close to the S6. But still under sunlight you see the S6's the viewing angle is that ever so slightly better, but of course we'll give it to the iPhone 6 and the S6 both together when the brightness is set to maximum. But when it's set to auto, which could be 90% of the case, is that the S6's display is clearly better than the iPhone 6. Now let's take a look at how the video plays. I can see clearly the S6's display is brighter than the iPhone 6's. This is more whiter, this is paler. Even the clouds there have the actual colors. You should see the red here. This overall is much brighter than this one. But again, everything changes when you have the brightness set to maximum. Now here the brightness is set to maximum, and you can see now the iPhone is slightly more whitish than the Samsung Galaxy S6. Let's see if this changes anything. Still the colors are not that much on the iPhone 6, mainly because the brightness is too much. So at full brightness, I find the iPhone 6's brightness is actually slightly more whitish than the one on the S6, but at times finding that a little too much. Still, it's much closer battle now, not like when you have set the display to auto brightness. So there you are then, when you set the brightness to auto, which generally you should do unless you're out in bright sun, and when in auto brightness you cannot even see the display. At that time you generally set the brightness to the maximum, except those rare times you'd see that the S6's brightness or the display brightness and crispness is much better than the one on the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is paler, darker than the one on the S6. The colors are also more vibrant on this one. The viewing angles are also better on the S6, but the case is different when you set the brightness to the maximum just to test. In those few times we've seen that the iPhone 6 actually matches the S6 even And this is also true for skin tones, sky colors, sea colors, everything. Those colors are kind of popping out and more natural on the S6 than on the iPhone 6 when you have the brightness set to auto. When you have the brightness set to maximum on the iPhone 6, at times it's slightly brighter, but at times this brightness goes overboard because that those white backgrounds are kind of, they hurt the eyes at times. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, ask anything related to this comparison. We'll try to answer them in the comment section, and please subscribe to our channel and share this video to share the love. Thank you.